I've just seen Origin in the film. Origin was on last week.
It was fabulous.
It was alright, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. Again, the best team didn't win in terms of all the stats and the status of the players that wore New South Wales blue. You would have thought that they would have beaten a Queensland team that suffered a couple of injuries and were picking a couple of players who were out of position, but there is something about that resilience and spirit that they're almost impossible to beat. Go the Maroons. Ralph Rimmer.
Morons.
That's the only other story.
Yeah, well, good luck, Ralph, in your quest to destroy Rugby Union. Thanks for that. The government are great, aren't they?
Did that surprise you?
I suppose it did. Yeah.
You know what the next announcement will be? Magic Weekend for Rugby Union.
Yeah, but it does. It did surprise me, I suppose, to some extent. But when you think about it, and the work that Ralph did with the government around, rugby league getting the loan, etc., and in actual fact, when you think about it, and his experience in rugby league and a CEO, it's not surprising actually. For all
I think it says more about rugby union. That if you were to go back a few years and say you've got some troubles, we're going to send in a troubleshooter with a rugby league background, they would have gone, they're not coming anywhere near.
Well, I don't think they have a choice, do they?
But I think it's really interesting, again, the relationship between the two sports, where rugby union are at the moment, looking for more rugby league expertise, not just on the coaching side, but now on the administrative side. I'm intrigued by how this will play out. Yeah. So, Ralph goes in and says, well, I think you should have 13 men. Yeah. Those line-outs are a waste of time.
Get rid of those fat blokes.
I suspect it probably won't be along those lines.
He wasn't perfect. And he did some bad things, but he also did some good things.
I think in terms of his reputation with government and the way he handled COVID and the negotiations that he went and fought his corner at Downing Street, he is perceived to be, an administrator of merit. And Karen Morehouse was saying the same, that he gets underestimated because sometimes he comes over in a bluff manner. But actually, he played a blinder with keeping the sport going at one of its most difficult times. I just think it's really interesting that whether they've got a say in who comes in or not, that somebody with a pure rugby league background is going to be advising rugby union how they move their sport forward. I would never have known that to happen in the past.
No, maybe not. But actually, as a sport, it's not a badly run sport, rugby league.
No, for what it is. For what it is.
It generally cuts its cloth accordingly, and for all the critics of the salary cap, it's not that often that we have clubs go...
I just can't envisage a meeting in the wood-panelled offices of Twickenham where the owners of rugby union are being told what they need to do by someone who is versed in rugby league. It's a really interesting dynamic, and I think it says more about the state they're in at the moment.
But they're in a mess. Rugby union's in a mess.
They're in a massive mess.
It's hilarious, isn't it? It's absolutely hilarious.
They've been bailed out too often by an international game and not addressed the issues that they have, which not for discussion here. I just think going to even the government saying you need to get a rugby league guy in. I've never known that happen before. Now, can you imagine Dudley Wood? Do you remember Dudley Wood?
Was he one of the 57 old farts?
Yes, going, bring a rugby league man in, he could tell us what to do.